Coach, just first off, does this week give you a chance to kind of get at least as healthy as you can this time of year?
Yeah, I think so, Rob. You know, with we were able to hopefully get some guys who were there on the good side of being, you know, just the little nicks that they had, and some of them weren't little, but we're hoping so, and we need a good day today, and make sure that we can get back where we need to be with our timing and everything. But we just felt like getting a couple guys healthy was the most important thing the last couple of days.
3 guards made some version of the All-SEC team. Just what makes those guys so effective playing together and kind of gel so well?
Well, I think they, you know, their speed, their quickness, and all 3 of them play bigger than their size. They make some things happen, and they all do it in a different way. But I think people would look at them, and they play hard, and they play well together.
Rick, Josiah was left off the all-defensive team. I know it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but you feel like he was snubbed?
Well, I think it does matter in the grand scheme of things, but I think the league's going to have to redo what we do. I mean, I think they pick 8 players, and with as many teams in the league, I think we should be doing the same thing on the all-defensive team. Oftentimes, coaches look at the numbers, and I get that part of it too, but the best defensive guy on our team is Josiah James, you know, because of the fact that he guards every position on the floor. But I think the league, we're going to have to change that, because I'm sure, I mean, it's hard to pick 5 guys in this league when it's as good as it is, and because we know there's more than 5 good defenders in the league, and we're going to pick, 8 first team players. We should be doing the same thing on the all defensive team.
Coach, you probably haven't even seen Santi play live before you got here, had you?
No, I had not.
So when that first week or so, you said he's getting your why, did you have any inkling you had a future first team All-SEC guard?
Well, you know what? The way he came in with 3 days, well, not even 3 days, 2 days really, and you know, I remember getting with him and saying, hey, give me a few things that you're comfortable with, that because we knew he couldn't learn everything that we wanted, that we were at that point in time. To, you know, we're in January, and a couple things that he did, we really sort of kind of really easy tweak within what we were doing. But the way he walked on the floor in that first day, what did he get, 6 threes, and just the mental side of it. But and obviously he wasn't in great shape, but just the way he did it, and the way he went about it, and you knew he had terrific basketball IQ. But what he's done is he's changed his body, and Santi's very unselfish. He's very competitive. We knew that. I mean, we figured that out real early. He's very competitive, but you know, to be honest, Rob, we've got real high expectations for him. You know, and you know, I know people think about him shooting the ball. I think he does so much more than just shoot the basketball, and he impacts games a lot like Josiah in things that don't show up. I mean, little things that you would, again, the way he's being guarded this year, he's gotten some guys some just great looks at the basket because they're afraid to leave him, and I think he's the best screener on our team. And but I'm not surprised, no, because of the way he goes about his business.
Does anything stand out that's changed about Mississippi State or South Carolina since the last time you saw those teams?
Well, you know, I really, both of those teams, you know, they certainly South Carolina. I mean, they're both 9-9 in the league now, and they both have had to really fight and scratch like everybody in the league. But I don't think they've changed a whole lot either. Again, what we've looked at the last 2 days, neither one's has changed a whole lot with it. But whoever it works out, we'll have to. Hopefully, we'll be ready.
Coach, just how does it work tomorrow night? Because you won't know who you're going to play probably about 8:30. I mean, will you meet with the guys on Thursday night and go on film, or will that just be coaches only?
No, we'll meet. We'll get with them. You know, after the game. Is that the first game happening?
They play at 6.
They play at 6. So yeah. So we'll get together like, you know, we normally get together the night before the game here, or even on the road. You know, we go on the road. We eat at 6:30, 7. Go in and do a meeting. We'll obviously back it up, and we'll come back in it whenever they're done and do a quick. You know, we know each other, but it'll be a quick turn around. That's what we actually tried to do even more late in the year. We talked about being able to get ready on a one-day prep, knowing that it's a lot like where we started the season up in Connecticut, where we played Villanova, then quick turnaround and like that. But yeah, we'll definitely get together tomorrow night, and is it tomorrow? Yeah, and do what we need to do.
Everybody talks about playing your best basketball this time of year going into tournament season. Do you like where your team is right now? Do you feel like you're playing your best basketball?
We didn't play our best second half, I can tell you that. I mean, we didn't. So we've got, and I'll keep saying it, we've got to continue to get better. I mean, if we're going to be the team that we want to be, we got to look at that hey, we want to be playing for another month if we can. And to do that, you got to get better. And we've got to learn from the other night, and we came out, and again, not to take anything away from Arkansas, but we certainly helped them by the way our mental approach to it, but got back on our heels, and we were fortunate, we really were, but it's the way we didn't handle our business that we've got to continue to talk about.
Jonas and Brandon, they had a lot more of a productive role in the month of February. What are you looking for them coming up in their first SEC tournament?
Same thing. We need those guys. We need both of them. We need them. We need them to give us some offense too. But I thought they were huge in the game in Arkansas when we were really teetering there. They went in and we told both of them, "Hey, we need you guys to play defense and rebound," and they did through a period there and in a high level game. So they should be ready in terms of understanding what being in a high level game when winning matters and when it's on the line, and they really helped us during that stretch, and we just needed consistency. And I would say the same thing about each player that I would say about our team. We've got to ask each one of those guys to get better.
You notice anything different about John? This is last couple games coming up. You notice anything in the locker room, in practice?
No, I hope these last couple of days helped him. He had a pretty deep hip pointer that he's had to deal with, but he wasn't at his best the other night. He was giving up some rebounds there, and it gets physical. And I know when you have a hip pointer, and that's when you're using that part of your body a lot to rebound the ball, it's difficult. But hopefully these last 2 days that he's gotten over on the good side where he can get back to doing the things that we know he's capable of.
Ryan and Rob?
You talk a lot about maybe not the guy playing every game, but you're going to need it at some point. Jemi's minutes have declined over the past few weeks. How has he kind of responded and staying mentally ready when it's time comes?
Up and down. He's been up and down with it a little bit because that's a very difficult thing to do as a player. I know through the years, and because every game, we tell players you've got to be ready because we don't know what's going to happen sometimes, and you don't want them to ever think that you're just saying that to them, because when we truly go into every game, we have no idea what adjustments we have to make. We don't know what's going to happen. But as a player, you hear it often enough and it doesn't happen, it's easy to get down and wonder, say, well, I don't think so. But the guys that, and if you aren't locked in, if you go in the game and you're not ready in one possession, you probably won't play anymore. Because we know our players well enough to know when they're locked in. By the way, we know their body language is better than anybody. And we know, and to be quite honest, it'll start today in practice for every guy that's in that role. It'll carry over to our shoot around, everything that we do, because we want guys realizing that their body language and everything that we do and their mindset determines where, before we go into a game, what we're thinking.
Coach, if you go and look at the guys who have gotten all conference honors since you've been here, Kevin Punter, Grant, Admiral, now Zakai, Santiago, with the exception of Kennedy, who everybody wanted, all those guys are guys either nobody knew about, nobody wanted. You think you do better with guys like that coming with a chip on their shoulder, or is that just unique to those individuals?
Well, again, do we do better with them? I don't know if we do better with them. I think anybody does better with them. When you get guys that have a great work ethic, they have something in their DNA that, and I've said before, when you recruit and you bring players in, you don't really truly know all of it and what you're getting until the very end, until you're with them every single day. You're always hoping for the best, but I also think that the fact that our coaches do a great job of, as much as they possibly can with their intel, trying to figure out, what's going to work here. We talk about, having a competitive spirit, character, and then, we always talk about, the work ethic, and we want all three of them. Two out of three won't work, 1 out of 3 definitely won't work, but 3 out of 3 normally works. And all those guys that you talked about, they were 3 out of 3 on all that. And then, we do take great pride in our player development program. I think most schools would say that too, but I think our coaches do a tremendous job there. But you can't coach somebody unless they want to be coached, and so you got to give a tremendous amount of credit to those guys that came in and fought the odds and did things that most people wouldn't think they would do. And it goes back to their character, their work ethic, and their competitive spirit.
Hey, Coach, what are some of the intangibles to having a successful run in a conference tournament and eventually the NCAA tournament that you don't see on the stat sheet, but some of those little things that you do because you have to play so long?
Well, I think the key is not to beat yourself, by some of the things that we did Saturday afternoon, not being locked in mentally, turning the ball over, not rebounding the basketball. It'll get back to fundamentals, but the mental side of it, you've got to be locked in. You've got to understand that everything, the game changes a little bit. Longer timeouts will start happening. Once you in a conference tournament, obviously we know each other. So this is a real. It's a real rock fight because we all know each other so well. And but the key is that you rely on your training, you rely on what you've done up to this point, but if you're not locked in from a mental standpoint and you start doing things out of character where you start beating yourself, that's how it all ends. But you still have to execute the fundamentals of the game, and like I said, Saturday, too many mental mistakes, too many turnovers, too many second shots, and to be quite honest, as hard as we played in the first half, I thought they played harder in the second half. And that's what momentum can do sometimes. Momentum can get you feel like you're playing in quicksand when you're back on your heels and you're trying everything you can to get it turned around, and then some guys try to do too much. It's really staying together, believing in what you're doing as a team, and knowing that it's going to be a grind and it's going to be hard. And if you think it's easy, like you have a 20-point lead at halftime, but you think it's going to be easy, a 20-point lead with 20 minutes going to the game is nothing. When you come out in 3 possessions, they take it from 20 to 14 with 17 minutes to go. We've been down 16 with 9 minutes to go and can win a game. So a lot goes into it, but it's about understanding you better be willing to play for 40 minutes.
Anything else for Coach? All right, Coach, thank you
All
very
right,
much.
thank you guys.